Welcome back to my channel. Today I just finished a tax return for a client of mine that I've known for several years. We actually ran into a crazy story that I would like to share with you today regarding cryptocurrency, pig butchering scams. Some of you are probably familiar with this, or romance scams. So this client of mine unfortunately invested a little bit over $100,000 into these types of investments and lost it all. So we're talking about something that is actually very, very common in today's world, where a lot of people are getting scammed out of their life savings. And a lot of these situations can put people in very, very bad positions where they have to eventually file bankruptcy. It looks like at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening with this person in particular, he's probably going to have to move out of the country, probably even at the end of the day, say goodbye to his US citizenship. So what ended up happening here? What is the background of this story? He ended up getting a random text message from an Asian girl that was living in New York, originally from South Korea, and her name was Josephine. She eventually got this person to invest $15,000 into different websites that were made up. She made it seem as if she also put in $15,000, and all of this blew up into well over $200,000 in a period of less than a week. So what ended up happening is all of this was fake dashboards created online to make the illusion that all of this money was growing exponentially. This was tricking the victim so that he could think that he's getting rich. And you know, the worst part is that he actually shared this information with his family, letting them know that all of this that he was doing was going to be able to help them out as well. His family was under the impression that everything was going to be okay. After this first scammer got him to believe that this money was growing, a second scammer contacted him. This person, by the name of Amanda, had him invest more money, an additional $100,000, into another website called CoinWoo, or as it goes around the internet, CoinW. Within a week or so, this money ballooned close to $250,000. When he wanted to withdraw money, these withdrawals were blocked, so he could not withdraw any of the earnings from these deposits. Once his family found out that he was having trouble removing this money, then the arguments started happening. And unfortunately, as to this present day, him and his family no longer talk. And all because of these scams. They can cause rifts between family members, especially when you're dealing with life savings that can eventually benefit everybody. So for some of you that are not aware of what a pig butchering scam is, it's pretty much when someone contacts you out of the blue, builds trust, starts a conversation. A lot of these people are usually from Asia. They're Asian women usually. And they build trust, and then eventually they have you invest money in these fake exchanges or in these fake investments, which eventually they pretty much take the money from you, never give it back to you, and they slaughter the pig. That's the reason why it's called a pig butchering scam. And some of the red flags that you have to look out for is sometimes when these investments are too good to be true, these things do tend to happen. But a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't have the knowledge, or they don't run into the right person to be able to talk about this information so that they don't fall victim to these types of scams. And here's another thing that happened. When I was preparing this person's taxes, he actually did not have the same bank as he did the previous year. The original bank that he had, that bank did not want to work with him to send out the wire transfers. He had to leave them for a different bank, and in that bank he was having issues as well. So he ended up with a third bank, which the bank that he's currently using now is Bank of America. I have heard of people tell me in the past that Bank of America seems to be kind of loose when it comes to wire transfers into these fake exchanges. So for any of you that have Bank of America, just so you know, I'm not a fan of them as well. But it seems like they tend to work when it comes to sending money to these scammers. Bank of America seems to be the choice of a lot of people. Now, all of these losses are pushing this person to consider bankruptcy. I gathered all this information from this client so that the following year we can go ahead and claim a loss on the tax return, because unfortunately a lot of this money that was actually sent to these scammers came out from his retirement fund, which means that the following year he's going to be responsible for a large amount of tax. Now, fortunately, he is over 59 and a half, so he won't get hit with a penalty, but there still will be some tax to this. So that's the reason why I went ahead and I tried to get as much information as I could from this individual, so that the following year, it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to build a case and to be able to explain to the IRS exactly how this individual got scammed, so that we can minimize the tax impact for 2025. Let this be a lesson for all of you out there. This can happen to anyone. This is not the first time that I've heard of these kind of stories. I've heard of several clients over the last couple years that have been victims of scams. And unfortunately, this client of mine in particular, I was not expecting for him to come with this story today. I have not seen him for several months. This is a person that I thought would not fall into these types of schemes. It's very important for you to do your due diligence whenever you're sending a large amount of money for investments. I had another client in the past that had a very similar situation, but the money that was coming out from his bank was from his checking account, so he didn't have to deal with the tax consequences later. A lot of scammers will still keep contacting you in the future because you opened up the floodgates for other people to think that you're an easy target. If you have fallen as a victim of these types of scams, my recommendation to you is that you change your phone number as well, and you change your emails, because they are going to keep contacting you with different emails and different phone numbers, because they know that you've already fallen for it. So the chances of you falling for another scam more than likely is greater than some random person. I just wanted to give you guys that story today. I thought it was very interesting. Like I said before, I run into people every single day that have these interesting stories. I was not expecting to run into this story today, but I wanted to share it with you guys as a reminder to be aware of everything that happens. Because if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go to boxing class. It's currently a little bit after 9 a.m. We have a long day ahead of us. It's a very nice Friday morning. Really sunny outside. It seems like the rain has dissipated. And I'm actually right now in front of a car wash, and there's a long line of people getting their car washed right now. Hopefully it doesn't start raining sometime in the afternoon today. And right behind me, if you can see, there's actually a meat market. So it just so happens that I'm talking about a pig butchering scam, but yet there's a meat market behind me. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the video here. Please drop down in the comments below what you think about this situation. Let me know if you or a family member have experienced these types of random text messages. I get them all the time. It's actually become very, very common for people to be receiving these. And I have had friends that have reached out to me and have asked me about these types of investments after people have randomly text messaged them. And I always tell them to stay away and block the number. Don't even bother to respond, because as soon as you respond, they know that that line is active and they will keep sending you random text messages throughout the months ahead. That's all I can tell you about this. Anyways, continue to view all my other videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't had a chance to. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend. Take care.